Good morning, children. Sainam. Now we will continue with chapter number 3, An Earthquake in Assam by Ruskin Bond. This is the continuation of the chapter as well as the explanation and discussion of chapter number 3. Previously, I would like to have a brief recap or a replay for you. Then when we have talked about Ruskin Bond's chapter, this story which has been written by the narrator himself, that is Ruskin Bond, when he was too small or he was very young. At that time, Ruskin Bond has witnessed a massive earthquake which hit Assam as well as nearby areas. At that time, the narrator, Ruskin Bond, was a very small child and I was living in Shillong. Let's continue with the next portion of the chapter. With only a towel wrapped around my waist, I ran out into the open to the front of the house, but found only my wife there. The whole front of the house was blocked by the fallen section of thatch from the roof. Through this, I broke my way under the iron railings and extricated the others. The bearer had pluckily borne the weight of the whole thatched roof section on his back as it had slithered down, and in this way saved the ayah and the children from being crushed beneath it. After the main shock of the earthquake had passed, minor shocks took place at regular intervals of 5 minutes or so, all through the night. But during the first shake-up, the town of Shillong, I repeat, the town of Shillong was reduced to ruin and rabble. That is, in the last portion we studied how grandfather, that is Ruskin Bond's, the narrator's grandfather, was in the bathtub, and at that particular time a sudden and a terrible earthquake hit their home, the place where these people were living. And the narrator was living, where was the narrator living, children? He was living in Shillong. And the narrator has described that in such a pathetic way they experienced the earthquake, that whole house was destroyed, the roof was thatched in such a pathetic manner, it was totally destructed in a devastated situation. Not even a single brick was left safe or sane. But during the first shake up, the town of Shillong was reduced to ruin and rubble. That is, the narrator is trying to describe the desolate condition, the total devastating condition of the town of Shillong when the first hit of the earthquake touched the boundaries of Shillong, touched the particular place Shillong. Each ruin and rubble. What does this phrase means, ruin and rubble? Ruin and rubble means severely damaged, that is, getting pieces broken into pieces and dust. Everything made of masonry was brought to the ground. Government house, the post office, the jail, all tumbled down. When the jail fell, the prisoners, instead of making their escape, sat huddled on the road, waiting for the superintendent to come to their aid. See what an irony. When the jail, that is the central jail, broke up into pieces, when it fell down, the walls of the jail fell down, the prisoners, which comprise of robbers, thieves, etc., dacoits, etc., instead of escaping, instead of eloping, they stood on the road and they wanted aid from the superintendent. They did not flee away, they did not run anywhere, they stood on the road itself so that the superintendent could help them and protect. Such was the condition of the citizens of the Shillong. The ground began to heave and shake, wrote a young girl in a newspaper called The Englishman. I stayed on my bicycle for a second and then fell off and got up and tried to run, staggering, staggering up about from side to side of the road. To my left, I saw great clouds of dust, which afterwards discovered to be houses falling and the earth slipping from the sides of the hills. I want to put up a question over here. What were the clouds of dust? I repeat, what were the clouds of dust? Can anyone tell? Can you think of it? What were the clouds of dust? The clouds of the dust were when the massive buildings, houses start falling, the dust that rose up, that is the dust which rose up to the sky, it formed it formed clouds, as if clouds were floating in the air. There were no clouds actually, it was the dust which rose up when the buildings fell down due to the earthquake. To my right, I saw a small dam at the end of the lake torn asunder. What is ASUNDR? What is the meaning of asunder? It is apart. And the water rushing out. The wooden bridge across the lake break in two and the sides of the lake falling in. At my feet, the ground cracking and opening. I was wild with fear and did not know which way to turn. The lake rose up like a mountain. The lake rose up like what? Which what has the narrator described it as? The lake rose up like a mountain. Now, what is the meaning of the the lake rose up like a mountain? That is, such was the pressure as well as the fall of the lake. It rose to such a height that it appeared like a mountain. It rose, that is, it came up to such a height with the tides on a way, tides and pressure. The pressure of the lake and the flow rose up to such an extent as if they were a mountain. They rose up to a height like a mountain and then totally disappeared, leaving only a swamp of red mud. Only swamp of red mud. That is, all water vanished away. Only mud was left. Only mud was left over there. Not a house was left standing. Not even a single house was seen standing. Nothing could be seen standing. Each and everything fell down, came to, you can say, to the mixture, came to the mole mixture. That is the, it was no, not even a single building was there. Not even a single work of masonry could be seen over there. Only ruins were left. Only dust and pieces of stones or bricks were left. People were rushing about, wives looking for husbands, parents looking for children, not knowing whether their loved ones were alive or dead. A crowd of people had collected on the cricket ground, which was considered the safest place. But grandfather and the family took shelter in a small shop on the road outside the house. Now, where did grandfather took shelter? Grandfather took shelter in a small shop on the road outside his house. The shop was a rickety wooden structure. What is the meaning of rickety? Likely to collapse. Very clumsy wooden structure which had always looked as though it would fall down in a strong wind, but it withstood the earthquake. That is, the condition which the narrator has described during the earthquake was really pathetic, was really devastating. Houses were totally demolished by the natures, as if the nature has cursed the humanity. Okay, the narrator feels such a in such a perturbed or a confused situation, he is not able to figure out that which way he shall take so as to reach home, because he was in a situation of utter confusion. The grandfather, that is the narrator's grandfather, and his family, that is their family, took shelter in a rickety, in a small clumsy house, shop, which was actually considered that will fall down if any strong wind hit it. But fortunately the shop withstood the earthquake. And then the rain came it and it poured. This was extraordinary, because before the earthquake there wasn't a cloud to be seen. But 5 minutes after the shock, Shillong was enveloped in cloud and mist. Shillong was enveloped in cloud and mist. What does this mean? That is Shillong, the place where narrator was residing with his family. It was enclosed in cloud and mist. That is, natural rain had appeared and it gave a hug. It enwrapped Shillong with love and warmth. The shock was felt for more than 100 miles on the Assam Bengal Railway. A train was overturned at Shamsher Nagar, another was derailed at Mantola. Over 1,000 people lost their lives in the Cherrapunji Hills, and in other areas too. Death toll was heavy. That is, children, the earthquake actually caused heavy damages, severe damages. The Brahmaputra burst its bank, and many cultivators were drowned in the flood. A tiger was found drowned, and in North Bhagalpur, where the earthquake had started, 2 elephants sat down in the bazaar and refused to get up until the following morning. This is the description of the earthquake. Children, I will ask you to attempt this question, that how will you describe in your words that what was the condition after the earthquake hit Shillong. I repeat my question, what was the condition of the people after the earthquake hit Shillong? Over 100 men who were at work in Shillong's government printing press were caught in the building when it collapsed. Over 100 men. And though the men of a Gorkha regiment did splendid rescue work, only a few were brought out alive. One of those killed in Shillong was Mr. McCabe, a British official, I repeat, who was brought alive from that building. Which building? Shillong's government printing press. Which building we are talking about? Shillong's government printing press. The person who was killed was a government official and British official whose name was Mr. McCabe. I repeat, spelling again, the name again, Mr. McCabe, MC Mc and CABE Cab. Grandfather described the ruins of Mr. McCabe's house. Here a bedpost, listen carefully children, here a bedpost, there a sword, a broken desk or chair, a bit of torn carpet, a well-known hat with its Indian Civil Services colors. I repeat, a well-known hat with its Indian Civil Services colors, battered books, all speaking reminiscences of the man we mourn. The meaning of battered means damaged. Reminiscences, reminders. While most houses collapsed where they stood, government house, it seems, fell backwards. That is, the narrator tries to describe that the buildings which were made by normal masons stood as it is, but the government house stood back. It fell backwards. The church was a mass of red stones in ugly disorder. The organ was a tortured wreck. That is, the even the church was dismantled very badly. Nobody dismantled it, but the nature dismantled it with its anger and its agony. A few days later, family with other refugees made their way to Calcutta to stay with friends and relatives. It was a slow, tedious journey with many interruptions from the roads and railway lines, as they had been badly damaged and passengers had often to be transported in trolleys. Grandfather was rather struck at the stoicism. Stoicism means uncomplaining behavior displayed by an assistant engineer. The family got to Calcutta to find the inhabitants of the capital. And what is the capital? Calcutta. Okay, where they reached finally after the narrator as well as the grandfather. You can say the narrator's grandfather and their family reached Calcutta. Now it is known as Kolkata, was then capital of British India, to find the inhabitants of the in a state of panic, for they too felt the quake and were expecting it to recur. The damage in Calcutta was slight compared to the devastation elsewhere, but nerves were on edge and people slept in the open or in carriages. Cracks and fissures had appeared in a number of old buildings, and grandfather was among the many who were worried at the proposal to fire a salute of 60 guns on the Jubilee Day. They felt the gunfire would bring down a number of shaky buildings. Now, what was the occasion that on which 60 guns had to be shot? It was the Jubilee Day. Now, what was the Jubilee Day? The Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria. Children, when narrator, his grandfather and their family left Shillong, and from Shillong they moved on to Calcutta, they faced the transportation system was totally mismanaged, and the passengers faced a lot of problems. The total journey was a havoc, and sooner or later, grandfather, the narrator, and their family reached Calcutta safely. That this is it in this chapter, children. Now this chapter is over, and I will give some questions from in between the text. That means whatever I have discussed as well as explained you in my lecture, without these slides, I will expect you to answer the questions with the help of my presentation in the lecture. Thank you and Sai Ram.